Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Remy, and I'm a member of Columbus City Council who happens to chair the Division of Refuse under the Environment Committee. I'm happy to have the Division Administrator for the Division of Refuse here with me today, and Mr. Tim Swauger, working out social distancing and working essentially alone in your department right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the administrative side, I've got one office staff in with me today.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So how are things going with the Division of Refuse?
We're chugging along. Everything's going, obviously, working hard here. All of our frontline workers are showing up. We're getting it done every day. I really want to thank our employees. I mean, they're really stepping up in these times. We have very, very minimal absences due to anything. Our staff's really showing up, and we're getting out there every day and getting the trash picked up like we should be.
Yeah, I want to echo that. Thanks. We know that this is an essential function to the residents of Columbus, and certainly want to make sure that your employees know how appreciated they are by myself and every resident within the city of Columbus. Are they practicing social distancing? I saw a plan that you put into place. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a couple things. One, with our fleet, the way we're set up, we're almost fully automated, so it's one driver in a truck. So we are already kind of equipped for some of this social distancing just by the nature of what we do. We don't have a lot of two people on a truck handling the cans. We do have some, but that's minimal compared to most cities. So being almost fully automated has reduced that. But what we've done is put in some protocols in place. So we're having the drivers, when they show up in the morning, they're all staying in their cars. We're texting them to come in a few at a time. They get their work assignment for the day. We have supervisors there with all the doors propped open so no one touches anything. As they come through, they're given their work assignments, they're given gloves, they're given sanitizer. They go right to their truck, they clean out their inside cab of the truck, and they go out on the route, and we just repeat that until we have the whole crew in. We're not having them clock in or out. That way they don't have to touch the clock, and we're not worried about everyone touching the fingers. These high touch areas, we've gotten rid of all of those. We have a supervisor in there just check marking everybody each day to do our daily attendance. And then after each group comes through, small group, we're sanitizing in between each of those as well. So that way we can reduce any of those. And then of course we're asking them the 4 required questions about do they have a fever? Do you have a cough? Do you have experienced shortening of breath and any illness related body aches and those? If they answer yes to any of those, we send them home, and then we track them through a different mechanism there. So we're doing a lot of that type of social distancing at the workplace, and really it's just getting the drivers in, getting them in their trucks, and then once they're out on the route, they're in the truck by themselves, and for the most part fully automated. So that allows for that social distancing as well.
That sounds like a really good plan. Due to the stay-at-home order, have you noticed a greater increase in the amount of trash throughout the city?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing an increase in trash. We've been tracking it since prior to the stay-at-home to now, and it's up in areas of the residential 90-gallon containers is what we tracked so far, and that's up over 25% in tonnage. So that's a significant increase, which obviously increases our tipping fees, and there's greater expenses here as a result, and it slows us down on the route because as trucks fill up, you have to make more trips. So it's certainly, we're working harder than ever out there right now. So while a lot of people are stay at home, our folks are coming in every day and actually having to really put out a great effort every single day to get this done and picked up for everyone.
Is there any particular area of town where you've seen a greater increase over the other, or is it pretty consistent across the board?
We've seen it pretty consistent across the board. People are staying at home, as much as they can, and as that does, obviously, there's more trash at the residents. So it's pretty even. The increases have been pretty well spread across the city evenly.
Are the roving trash trucks still going out and picking up illegal dumping and the efforts to catch people that are doing illegal dumping? Are they still continuing during this time?
Yes, we are. So the illegal dumping crews are still operating daily as they would. Just this month, we've already, and that's in 7 days here, we've already picked up 72 tons of illegally dumped material this month. Our yearly total is over 600 tons. We're still picking up the illegal dumped tires as well. And then the solid waste inspectors, we are working with a reduced crew. We're staggering some of those in. but we're still doing the investigations on those and still going forward with prosecution of those cases.
That's just a staggering number. I don't think that people realize the amount of illegal dumping that's out there within the city, and it's a testament that we've got this going on, continuing through this time, as well as the investigations that are continuing. So thank you.
Yeah, again, the employees here have really stepped up. They're doing a great job. And unfortunately, while this stuff is still going on, obviously we hope to see, illegal dumping go away with everyone home. We'd encourage people to watch, make sure you're not illegally dumping, make sure your neighbors aren't, report those types of things, because it's taking us a lot of time, takes us a lot of effort, money, taxpayer money to clean these things up. And we have to put a clamp down on this. And unfortunately, we can't ever make this time up. So if we quit collecting it now, that stuff will just still be there when we do return back to, full staffing.
Sure, times 10 maybe. So, have you seen any changes with recycling in particular?
Well, recycling is still going on. So we get a lot of questions about recycling. Are we still recycling? It's a resounding yes. We are definitely still recycling in the city of Columbus. Our partner, Rumpke, is collecting that for us. They have seen a great increase due to the amount of online shopping that's going on. Now that people are home, they're not leaving their houses as much. Online shopping's increased, so there's a lot more cardboard as a result of that online shopping. So a couple of things we'd like to mention is, one, make sure you're breaking down your cardboard and getting it in that recycling container. And two, make sure you continue to recycle, because Rumpke uses that same cardboard with those same manufacturers to remake cardboard boxes again. So we want to make sure we're continuing that cycle, and we do want that material recycled and used again. And it also helps us with our landfill tipping fees.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Are there any additional points you'd like to make, or let the people, the residents of the city of Columbus, understand further about what you're doing every day?
Yeah, again, I really do want to thank our drivers, and I'd like the public, see them out there, thank them. They're frontline workers. They're out here every day working hard. A couple things that the citizens can do for us as well is, we have noticed an increase in gloves being disposed of in the right-of-way, sidewalks, roadways. Those are hazardous for us as well to pick up, and it's littering. So we do encourage everybody to make sure that, if you're taking those gloves off, dispose of them properly in a bag, in a trash can, get rid of those, where they belong. Don't just drop these in the right-of-way. And then also, just in general, make sure you're bagging your trash and you're getting it in the containers. We do want to keep our drivers safe, so we want them to be able to come up, dump the can, set the can down, and move on. We're trying to limit the amount of time or contact that they have outside of that vehicle with containers and trash. So we want to make sure everyone's following the rules, getting that trash in bags, tying the bags, and don't have loose trash sitting around.
Thank you. Those are important points. I know littering is not something that that goes away during this time, so we certainly want to make sure, especially those plastic gloves, are getting picked up. I noticed people putting signs. I know we made some signs to put on our trash cans to thank the drivers when they're out there. Have you heard drivers talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually, several of our drivers, they've been taking pictures of them when they see it. They do appreciate that. They appreciate that people realize they're out there doing that job. They're putting, their families are at home just like everyone else's, and they're coming in every day and working. So they do appreciate those little things, like seeing someone say thank you, seeing a sign on the trash cans that we've seen throughout the city, and they're documenting it and they're talking about it when they, and they're letting their folks know that they're being appreciated, and they certainly do enjoy that.
We certainly appreciate everything that they're doing and the risks that they're taking on a day in and day out basis. Tim Swauger, our refuse administrator, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to us. It's certainly appreciated. Thank you for keeping everything moving within the refuse department, almost like normal, maybe even on a larger scale in some respects because of the additional trash. But we appreciate you. And so on behalf of my colleagues at Columbus City Council, I want to thank you and all of the men and women that keep the Division of Refuse moving day in and day out.
Well, thank you, Council Member. Appreciate the time, and be safe and stay healthy.
Thank you. You too.